What makes me happy is how colourful the house is as well. I love that each of the rooms is a different colour and it runs throughout the house, and it just changes your mood when you're sitting in that space, and that's what makes me the most happiest. My name is Colin and I'm an accredited Reiki practitioner, and I live in the leafy borough of Wandsworth. The home is located in southwest London in an area called Earlsfield, which is roughly around 5 miles from the centre of London. The area is quite young. It's full of young professionals and young families. There's a great vibe with lots of cafes, bars and restaurants, and there's a lot of green spaces, which is really nice. The age of the house was built in the 1900s early, so it was just kind of that cusp from Victorian to Edwardian. The original features which we kept is the decorative tiles which come into the door entrance, and we kind of wanted to make sure that we kept all those original features, which are really good. And then when you open this door into it, we also wanted to create something where a little bit of a wow factor, so we added the geometrical black and white tiles. We reinstated the original panelling, and we kept that dark but also kind of light from the top, so it's not overpowering. Yeah, the living room, we wanted to keep the original features, and we wanted to keep the original open fireplace as well. We reinstalled some Carrara marble fireplaces, and then we wanted to add a bold colour into it, which is green, just to make the space a little bit more luscious and a bit more luxurious, with the light in there as well, and making sure that the space felt welcoming but also cosy as well. The Snug was originally the more formal dining room of the house, but when we came in, we wanted to include it into the main living room, but also keep it quite separate. So we did that by changing the colour of the room and keeping it quite dark and luscious. And we also installed the open fireplace again, just so it was in sync with the main living area. But we wanted to keep that room quite cosy, and allowing us to kind of enjoy that more on the winter days in the house as well. But we've also incorporated the workspace within that room, so it's also a little bit more functional throughout the year as well. Yeah, the kitchen was originally the little breakfast room, and a very, very small kitchen originally was here. So when we came into the space, we immediately saw the potential for it to be a huge living, dining, kitchen area, and that's mainly the focus and the kind of soul of the house. We wanted the kitchen to be open plan, but we also wanted to be able to cook and communicate with everybody and watch the kids and see into the garden. We also wanted a large dining area so we could be sociable and host dinner parties and obviously see all of our families together in one space, but then also have a living area that we can just kind of chill and relax with the kids as well. We also wanted to make this part of the house the modern bit, so we love the kind of exposed beams that we wanted to kind of keep instead of boxing and covering up. We also wanted the original cretal doors which we installed to keep in the theme of the kind of how modern it was, and we also just wanted to keep this room a little bit more plain in colour, and then kind of add the pops of it, but also just using the rich materials that we have. So we've used the parquet real wood flooring and the Carrara marble and the walnut benches and furniture as well. This room was kind of on our mind immediately when we came into this space. We upgraded the property from a small 2-bedroom flat in St John's Hill, and laundry and washrooms were very minimal, so we didn't want everything kind of airing or out on radiators. So we kind of incorporated a room in the pantry, which is, it operates kind of to hold all the functional daily items that we need, the kettles, toaster, etc. But it also has our washer dryer and everything, drying facilities in there, which was absolutely amazing. So it keeps everything out of sight, out of mind. But there's also a little surprise in the pantry, which kind of came out when we were designing the space. And we also wanted to put a little cocktail bar in there, as we love socializing and hosting. And we do love cocktails, so that little surprised element kind of got added last minute, but it's one of the best features in the pantry. The garden when we first came didn't look so large or so inviting. It was hugely overgrown and we knew there was a lot of work to do. So what we decided to do was clear the whole space, which then made us realise the garden was bigger than we actually had originally thought. The extension, because of that, got slightly increased, which became the bigger living area. But what we wanted to do also was make sure that the garden was part of that living space and part of that kitchen, and making sure that the critile doors were installed but that they opened up to that garden. It's more about the social element of garden and kitchen kind of dining as well, but we also just wanted to zone the space, especially when we've got kids. So you need a little bit of the grass area and then a seating area, but mainly it's just making sure that there's enough space for the barbecue and storing bikes, etc. The master bedroom had no original features in it, so immediately we wanted to put all the carving back in there and the original features, as well as the working fireplace in that space. We also made sure that the room was big enough to take the biggest bed that we could possibly find. That's one of our priorities, where we love kind of chilling out with the kids and having enough space for us all to get in and read and chill out. And that's kind of been the main aspect of that space. Was also just to kind of make the colours in there a little bit more masculine, a little bit more darker, and just kind of make that space quite rich and luxurious, but a place really that where you want to sleep and spend time in. That room hasn't changed as much as all the other rooms in the house. We have kept all the original features in there. All we've done is hand the decoration over to our daughter to allow her to pick her own colours that she'd like to put in there. She has been quite bold as well with those colours, and it's really warm and rich, and it's layers on layers of pink, but very tonal pinks, so we haven't minded that at all. We also kept the sink area within that room, and that area is actually brilliant for her just getting ready and doesn't clog up the bathroom as much when both children are going to bed. This room has evolved over time as our son has got older. He's wanted different needs and different things and specific areas within that room. So the last time we decorated it, he actually wanted all the input, so we allowed him to choose the colour, the layout, the style of it all, and we've been actually quite surprised by that. And we've actually loved what he's done to that space. He's also added little areas for his mixing decks, his little production area, and then enough space for all his guitars and keyboard. So it's kind of a very musical boys' room, but we're overall happy with what he's done to it. The bathroom was originally a small toilet room, and then it was a very small bathroom space. We decided to knock those two spaces together and also extend slightly into our son's room when we were originally designing it. That just created a larger overall one space. We wanted to incorporate as much light as possible in there, so we installed a larger reed glass window, and then we wanted to use other materials just to give it some richness. So we installed the wooden floor just to give it richness and a bit of warmth. We then installed the Carrara marble tiles around the bath area, and then the plain marble top on the dual basin aspect. We wanted to also give a little bit more richness to the walls, so we kind of just a little pinky kind of plaster effect in there, just to give it that warmth as well. When we decided to do the loft extension, first of all, we were kind of looking at what we needed, what were our requirements, and mainly it is for our family to come and stay. We have a lot of family, but they don't live within London, so we wanted to create a welcoming space where they could come and feel at home as well. The first room that we did, we wanted to just create a little bit more of a boutique hotel type of style, but we also wanted again to keep as much light coming through as possible, so we installed a large picture sitting window within that space, which is really nice and makes sure it's just got all of its functionality for a guest's bedroom. The guest bathroom is something that we procrastinated over, whether it was just a shower room or whether it was a bathroom to install a bath. But at the end, we wanted something that was a bit more functional and just something a little bit different. So we created a walk-in shower space, and we wanted to create as much light as possible in there. So we installed a Velux window right above the shower, so you can see the sun in the daytime, and then you can see the stars in the nighttime when you're showering. This is the top of the house, so we knew that it was going to be potential for lots of light and to make this space nice and airy. So when we were designing it, we wanted to make sure that there was large Velux windows within that space, but also a large floor-to-ceiling window space as well to let as much light in as possible. We also wanted to keep a sink area within that, and we wanted to create something that was a bit eye-catching, so we've actually put it on the mansard sloping wall, so it looks something out of Star Trek with the mirror and the tiles on there. But we wanted to keep it looking rich and warm as well, so we've used the traditional wooden floor, and we used a light powder kind of grey pink within this space, just to kind of make sure that it reflects all the light and making sure that it's really light and airy in that room. But then also recently, that space has now become my studio space. I'm a registered Reiki practitioner with the CNHC, which is the Complementary Natural Healthcare Council. And this is where I treat my clients through my business, and it works incredibly well as a studio space with it being so light and airy. It has to be the original vintage G-Plan 62 blue velvet chair in the living room. This chair of its time was named the most comfortable chair in the world, and it also featured in the Bond movie You Only Live Twice, which was really fun to see, where the actor is sitting there stroking his cat. I love this chair mainly because it's so comfortable. You just sink into it and it rocks slightly, and you can just swivel all the way around, so it makes it quite a fun chair, and the kids absolutely love it. I quite like the lighting that we have throughout the house. We've got some classics in there, from the floss lamps to the pendants to the Mui hanging light, and to the Fossilini diesel light that we have in our bedroom. And then we also have some classic John Lewis bedside pendants as well, which we love. One of my favourite spots is what I call the heart of the house, which is the kitchen, living, dining area. We designed it as a multifunctional space, and it works really well, and it's really light and airy, but I love the fact that we can entertain large numbers of people here and cook and watch the kids and basically enjoy the space all together. I love our Snug, especially around the autumn and winter months. It's so cosy in there, having the real fire on in the morning, having breakfast and listening to records. It's one of my favourite spaces.
Could you tell us something surprising about yourself?
I absolutely love the water, and I love being near the water and on the water, and I'm actually a member of the Putney Rowing Club, and I row on the Thames every week, and it's an incredible way to rebalance yourself and ground yourself with nature. But I love the rhythmic kind of flow of it all and the team spirit, and it's something that I enjoy very much.